Hi guys, BuildZoid here, and today we've got another patient slash ill-advised purchasing decision on the desk in front of me. So today we've got the 980 Ti Lightning from MSI, and I picked this up as not working on eBay for, I think, for way too much. Let's just put it that way. Like, originally the listing was, I think, 55 quid, and then it ended up going all the way over. I was committed to paying as much as £85, which is, like, way too much for a dead GPU as far as I'm concerned. But my excuse is I get to make videos about these things. Anyway, it was listed as not having any display output, which is something I specifically look for because I don't want to deal with GPUs that are just artifacting. That generally indicates that it's going to have something wrong with it that I can't do anything about, whereas if the GPU doesn't have display output, like, I can at least, like, there's at least a sliver of a chance that it's going to have, like, a dead power stage or something, which is a lot, depending on how dead the power stage is, that may or may not be repairable, but it's just, like, I'd rather have a, like, voltage, like, a missing voltage rail rather than bad silicon. So, anyway, yeah. So first, and what's neat today, I'm actually going to be, because I've got some new camera equipment, thank you, Patreon, today we're actually going to, like, if I don't figure out what's wrong with this using the multimeter with the card turned off, then we're actually going to have to turn it on. And so, in the past, that wouldn't get on camera because it was just really inconvenient for me to point the camera at the test bench when doing that kind of thing, but now I have a boom arm for the tripod, so yeah, I can change what the camera is pointed at a lot more conveniently than it used to be. Anyway, let's get into it. So we're gonna have to take the card apart because there's just no way to take any measurements with it assembled. And I'm just gonna pull off the. Actually, how does this come apart? Oh, whoa, that is okay. So I've got some screws over on this end here. And I'm gonna need... Right. Oh, wait, nope, that one's full. Okay, screw it. We're just gonna do it the old-fashioned way. I'll just put the screws on the desk and hope that I don't lose them. I'm actually pretty good about not losing them, so I'm not too worried about that, but... Just, like, you shouldn't, like... Yeah, because the thing is, I have a bunch of, like the plastic tubs that I normally use for screws, like, there is... I've actually filled all of them with, like, parts of different GPUs, and it's just, like, I'm gonna have to go through them and like, consolidate them into the box of spare parts that I have. So, because the thing is, the card has a base plate, and that base plate was attached to the fin stack over here, but I don't think it's attached to the fin stack anywhere else. Yeah, no, doesn't look like that, so that's cool. At this point, it should just be the 4 main screws for the heatsink, and it should come right apart. Man, these are tight. Though, I have a sneaking suspicion that the previous owner took it apart because this screw hole, like, this screw is missing. Interestingly enough, there's still cling film on some of the fans on the front, so... these are just the kind of things that, like, I notice about cards where it's just like, oh, it might give you some idea of, like, how the card was treated. Which I suspect that whoever had this card, yeah, they definitely took it apart. Oh man, this does not expose anything. Right? Like, well, we can't really measure much of anything with the card looking like this. The front plate covers absolutely everything, so, yeah. No, like, the thing is, I'm just wondering, because I have actually ended up with cards where I'd buy them on eBay and they'd be, like, covered in, like, the dead 980 Ti Kingpin edition that I bought, like, ages and ages ago. That card had straight up, like, Plastidip remnants on it. So it's just, like, buying cards like this, I'm always wondering, like, oh, I wonder if I bought some Extreme Overclockers card. Which is kind of like, because that really, it's like, oh, I don't have high hopes in that case. Okay. I'm kind of annoyed that I have to take the whole thing apart. I was really hoping that just taking off the heatsink would show, like, expose enough capacitors that I could conveniently measure everything I want to measure, but nope. Also, this screwdriver bit is too small. Where did the rest of that go? Where did... we can do it with this one. Like, I'm not going to be reassembling it, so it doesn't matter too much. Or at least I'm not going to be reassembling it anytime soon. Like, I'm just kind of worried I might strip out the screwdriver heads, but it looks like they didn't... Like, compared to the core screws, they didn't screw the backplate down anywhere near as much, so I'm not too worried about that. Oh, wait. That one's tight. Come on. I tried to support the card so that I don't flex the PCB unnecessarily, because like the PCB can take some flex, but it's not good for the PCB to flex unnecessarily. Okay, wait, which one did I... Oh, this one up here. Okay, there we go. Well, I can't see anything that obviously would indicate anything, like, concerning. Let's zoom in a bit. Like, actually, I'll just pick up the card. Right? Like, I'm not seeing anything like liquid damage or something like that. I'm not seeing anything like that. So, probably, like, I'm starting to, like, I'm pretty sure it's dead silicon, unfortunately. It's a Lightning. It's very, like, I don't expect a card like this to have a dead VRM or something, because it's not a reference card. Anyway, let's put that out of the way. Turn on the multimeter, put it in resistance mode, and start taking measurements. So we're going to start with the GPU core voltage, which for a 980 Ti, I think somewhere around 2 ohms is what we're looking for. So I'm actually just going to ground off right here. So any screw hole on a GPU is a ground, or you can also just use like the tabs of the display outputs and that kind of thing, but I'm just going to go off of this. And then we're going to stab one of the V-core inductors, and... Okay, there's no short on the core. How about the memory? Memory is healthy. Well, this is not turning out good. I believe that's the PEX rail down there. Okay, that's fine as well. So that's basically what I suspected, which is that there's nothing actually wrong with the card, it just doesn't work. So that's very annoying. Like, that's worst case scenario as far as I'm concerned. Like, hopefully when I try to power it on, something won't turn on, like we'll be missing V-core or something, but yeah, I don't have high expectations of that actually happening at this point. No, that's all the screws over there. I guess this has just like especially sticky thermal pads. This is one of the like, I just don't like putting a lot of, yeah, physical stress on PCBs if I can avoid it. So, oh, there we go. Yeah, no, this looks like this looks like it's never been used and perfectly fine. Like, other than the fact that somebody replaced the thermal paste, like, this is in really good condition. Wait, they have the PEX. Whoa, okay. So normally there's a little voltage regulator down over here for your PEX rail. MSI moved that all the way over there. Then we have, okay, so we have a linear regulator over here. So the thing, like, what I'm hoping is that this turns out like that 980 Ti KPE I repaired relatively recently, where it was just like a dead linear regulator, and that was causing the card to not turn on. That's like best case scenario, because that would be super... That's this component right over here. That's relatively easy, that would be this component for this card. That would be really easy to fix. Now, unfortunately, we need to power it on to find out if that's actually the issue. So, Yeah, at this point, I'm also going to take off the backplate because unfortunately the test bench that I'm using, which is this right here, well, test bench, the motherboard that happens to be on my desk right now, unfortunately is just kind of sitting on my desk. So, you know, I can't have like, the tabs of the PCIe bracket would get in the way. And gonna So yeah, we're gonna have to power this up because there's nothing obviously wrong with the card that I can see right now. No, I want an HDMI port, so that's this one. Okay. And with any luck, it'll just be missing a voltage rail. And like, so we have like I think that's the variable gate drive circuit for the V-Core. There should be another, actually, that's going to be for V-Core and memory power, I guess. And it might not be variable. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see when I try to turn it on. If V-Core's missing or something like that. Like, V-Core missing, I'd suspect that. What else could be missing? Like, that could go missing. PEX rail could go missing. There's a whole bunch of rails that could not turn on that I'd be like, especially if it's a minor one, I'd be much happier about that than if it was like V-Core or something. Because V-Core's a pain to do any soldering on, because obviously it hooks into the biggest power plane on the entire GPU, so it soaks up a ton of heat if you have to replace anything in it. Oh, come on. There we go. Oh, right, those plastic things come off as well. Okay, well, and now we're just going to try fire this thing up. So, well, I'd like to put I'll put the test heatsink on, or... Well, no, we can test if the GPU even fires up, like, at all, and then I'll worry about putting a test heatsink on it. So, I'm going to adjust the camera, and then we're going to put it in the X570 Tomahawk and see if we get any power delivery actually running. There we go. See? That's progress at AHOC in terms of video production. Ability to just change the camera without having to rearrange the entire desk. There we go. Oh man, that is going to be awkward to work with. Where am I going to stab the ground? Oh, actually. So, don't need the fan. I should have cleared this desk more before getting into this. Gonna stab this onto the DVI port. And get the multimeter in the shot. And I also still need to plug in the 8 pins and everything. Okay, there we go. So everything's plugged in. Now I'm just gonna stab. Man, this side of the card is annoying to, like, the way they oriented the capacitors is not working out in my favor. Okay, we're just gonna go, I'm just going off the leg of an inductor. Nothing? Really? Or... Nothing. I'm in luck, I think. It's not turning on at all. Like, and now my finger's all covered in thermal paste. And that's disgusting. But, yeah, so we're not getting V-Core. So now we need to go stab every single voltage rail on that card. Figure out why it's not getting V-Core. And I'm going to clean off the die, because, well, no, it's not turning on, so I don't actually have to worry about it overheating, but I'm going to clean off my hand. I actually hate having thermal paste on my fingers. Okay. So yeah, like you can just if you're just but if you don't do measurements that there's no like short circuits on a GPU or something like that, then I wouldn't just randomly power on a GPU and go like, oh, I wonder if the core's getting hot, because that's not good. If there's a short circuit between like 12 volts and the GPU and V-core, then you're just causing more and more damage every time you power cycle the card. But if you know for a fact that there's no short circuits, then it's just like, yeah, test fire it. Because if there's no short circuits, either it's missing voltage rails or there's damage to the silicon, and one of the two is causing it to not put out a display signal. So, yeah, I wish I had a more convenient ground for this. I don't have a Molex cable plugged into the PSU though, so that's annoying. Actually, I can just zoom us out a bit. I could also get like a PCIe riser cable, but card's properly inserted. So I'm gonna turn it on again and just go around checking various things. So this LDO, 12 volts on the input, and 4 volts on the output. I'm pretty sure it's... 4 volts seems really high for whatever that is. Okay, let's check memory. No memory power. We do have drive power? Or no, that's an input filtering inductor. Alright, there's a fan. Damn it, I should have used an air cooler for this. So we have 5 volts drive. Okay, so that's present. It's really weird though. Like this, I'm pretty sure is supposed to be 3.3 and not 4 volts. There's a cap over here with no voltage on it, apparently. Or... no. Yeah, that's at 3.3 volts. Okay, so I guess that LDO is for something else. Let's see, is this side the side? Nope, that's not the side with volts. Okay, so those caps apparently don't have anything on them either. Yeah, I did not think this through when I decided to use this test bench with the radiator, but... oh. Please don't fall over. Now I can't see the multimeter, but you guys can, so... yeah, so there's no PEX rail, there's no V-core, there's no memory power. Like, for all intents and purposes, this thing's not turned on. But 12 volts on the input inductors, which, I mean, that doesn't surprise me. There's a bunch of, like, power balancing stuff in the card, which I guess that might, like... I don't know how I'd check that. Anyway, let's grab the mic. And... so, with any luck, that's the 12 volt side. Nothing. Okay, oh, that's the drive. Oh, I guess all the input filtering's on the back. That's annoying. There's no voltage on that. No voltage on V-core. So... Man, I'm going to be probing this for a while. I shouldn't have used an X570 board. That fan is going to, like, chew up my fingers. Like, I'm going to stick a finger in there eventually. I want to check that. Yeah, no, it's ice cold. So, are those 12 volts? They look like 12. Yeah, that's 12 volts. There's a bunch of garbage on the back of the card, so I guess I'll go try stab that instead. Move the rad around. Up. Man, this is so sketchy. I should have used an air cooler on this test bench. I don't know why I decided to do this with a water-cooled... Well, no, I do know why, because I have some other stuff that I was doing with this system before, and then I was like, ooh, GPU, let's try repair it. And let's not do it off camera for once. And that's how we ended up doing these gymnastics. I'm just going to check all the input capacitors. Hopefully not short any of them out. Okay, no, that's 12 volts. It's 12 as well. Also 12. Right, I'm actually in the camera. Wait a minute. Yeah, I can't see what I'm trying to stab. 12. Also. So. Yeah, sure looks like all the voltages are present. So I guess for some reason the card is very upset and doesn't want to turn on. Which is a good sign because that means it's repairable. But at this point it's like at this point I need data sheets and stuff. So unfortunately, we're not getting like this is it. Because at this point, I'm just going to go around with the card, like, so things I want to check is, like, do the voltage controllers get the necessary voltages? Is the enable signal present? Like, mostly just, is the enable signal, like, enable, are the controllers getting the necessary voltages? I wonder, actually, where's the 3.3 volts on this card? Oh, wait, I can't. Well, that's no fun at all. Like, that is actually no fun. Come on. There we go. So I wanna be able to see what I'm stabbing right now, so... Because I'm wondering, like, where do they have 3.3 volt? Oh, there's a cap. Oh man, that needs way too much precision. Oh. And, no, okay, that's the 1.8 volt output of that controller. So that's useless. What's this over here? Also 1.8. That doesn't surprise me. Well, that means that controller's running. So why doesn't it turn on the VRM? That is very weird. I guess it's not getting enable. Why isn't it getting enable? Yeah, this isn't working. By that I mean the video. I shouldn't have, like, the radiator is really, really annoying. And also, I just, like... Well, we have... Drive is present, so I don't need to worry about that. Memory... It's ground. That's 12 volts, yeah, that's what I expected. Also 12. And... Also 12, yeah, so that's all working. Yeah, no, this isn't working. I need a riser. I need a riser to be able to put down the, like, card sideways and then not have a radiator on the test bench and that kind of thing. So yeah, but the good news is this is repairable. This is definitely repairable. I just don't know what's wrong with it right now. Or at least well, I'm 90, like, I'm pretty confident that I can actually fix this, because this is not turning on, and it's not something like it turns on but wrong, or there's actual massive, like, there's no obvious massive physical damage, so, yeah, I'm not super concerned about this being, like, an impossible thing to fix. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this video, because, yeah, this isn't working. Um, And yeah, hopefully I figure out what's wrong with the card, and you might get to see it repaired. And in like well, yeah, if I get it repaired, like I hope to make a video with the card actually in action, because it's a 980 Ti Lightning, so that's very exciting. And yeah, that's it for the video. So thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, leave any comments, questions, questions, comments, suggestions down in the comment section below if you'd like to support what I do here with actually hardcore overclocking. I have a Patreon. There's a link to that down in the description below. And then there's also the HOC Teespring store where you can pick up shirts, stickers, posters, you know, the usual YouTuber merch. And there's links to both of those down in the description. They help out immensely with running the channel. So yeah, that's it for the video. Thanks for watching, and goodbye. Now I just need to find the map.